Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium, Bengaluru welcomes you to demonstrations in astronomy. All of us will be excited to see the planet Saturn through telescopes. It's because even through small telescopes, we will be able to see the rings of Saturn. It's a beautiful sight to see, and that's why we all get excited. And when we see these Saturn's ring through the telescope, we see that the rings are sort of tilted. The reason is the planet's axis of rotation itself has got a tilt, and that is why we see the rings also to be tilted. And one more thing that happens because of this axial tilt of Saturn is that if we observe the Saturn over a period of several years, we see the top half of the Saturn for some years, and then we start seeing the bottom half of the planet Saturn. And this switchover happens twice in one revolution, which takes something like 30 years, which means 15 years once we will be seeing this switchover. And when does that switchover happens? It happens when our Earth passes through the plane of the rings of Saturn. And when I say that Earth passes through the plane of these rings, will we be able to see those rings then? No, they become invisible. It will be almost like a line and it becomes invisible. And for the same reason, if we keep taking the photographs of Saturn year after year through a telescope, we will be seeing that the rings get thinner and thinner for some time, for some periods of years. And then at one point of time, it is almost invisible, and again it starts to reappear and then grows in size, and again we'll be able to see the rings. The model here is to explain us the same phenomena that happens with the planet Saturn and its rings. Okay? So this is our Saturn here, and we see a mirror there, and that mirror is kept there for us to see the Earth view. Okay? So the reflection of this Saturn, what you see here in the mirror, will be the way the Saturn appears to us, that is for the observers on the Earth. Okay. Now, as of now, we are in the year 2015. Okay, you can see that. As years elapse, you can see the reflection in the mirror, and you can actually see how the rings are getting thinner and thinner. Okay. And now, when we come close to 2024, see, now you can actually see that the rings have almost disappeared. It appears like a very thin line there. And after this 2024, if we just take our Saturn further in its orbit, okay, see, you can again see that the rings start to reappear. They become bigger and bigger, and then at some time it is again going to become thinner and thinner. And when we come to the year 2039, we will again be seeing the rings to be disappearing. So now the rings are getting thinner and thinner. We are very close to 2039. And now we have come to the year 2039. Okay. So now you can again see that in the reflected image there, which is seen in the mirror, the rings have disappeared. Okay. So it is not the actual rings that are disappearing, but only for an Earth-based observer, they appear to be disappearing. It's because our Earth will be in the same plane as that of those rings, and due to this kind of a line of sight, we see that the rings are very thin or they have almost disappeared. So this is how the planet Saturn's rings are changing their appearance for an Earth-based observer if we keep observing it for several years. And this disappearance is basically happening because our Earth will be in the plane of those Saturn's rings at that particular point of time, and that is the reason why we will not be able to see the Saturn's rings at certain times. Thank you.